While most of us are braving the cold, one thing is for certain: Juice Football Talk Show is going to be on fire. We have lots to cover. AFC, NFC Championship recap. We have coaching carousel, lots of coaching changes. We got head coaches who aren't in the Hall of Fame, first-year ballot. That, Senior Bowl, let's add the Senior Bowl as well. That, much, much more. It's the Juice Football Talk Show. Juice it up, everyone. It starts now. Well, good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Juice Football Talk Show. Like I said in the intro, a lot of people braving the cold. I have a special guest co-host with me who's not braving the cold. A lot of you all know him. He comes on Denver Bronco Roundup. He's on here with the Juice. Let me say aloha to my good friend Patrick Wiltsey out there in Hawaii. Patrick, how are we doing? And thank you for joining the Juice tonight.
Easy, no problem, man. I'm sorry, I'm driving home, so I will look when I can, but I can still talk like crazy, so no problems.
Absolutely. Good to have you on the show, Patrick. We got a lot to talk about. You're a big Bronco fan. We're going to break down the AFC Championship shortly, but I do want to get a couple hellos in. Paul Shatter coming in. He's saying Woody Page is on the Around the Horn podcast. And he said what I have been screaming, that backward pass was tipped, and why isn't our field heated? ? We're going to get into that AFC Championship game shortly. Woody, Paul, great to see you. After the horn, I'm sorry, not around the horn, after the horn. And Paul's saying, be safe driving there, Patrick. Absolutely. Don't worry about looking into the screen. We see you perfectly fine. And appreciate again you being on with us. Give some people a little time to get here. But like I said, we're braving the cold over here, Patrick. 80.
It was chilly today.
A little less.
It was chilly today. It was only like 77, 78.
Yeah,
it was chilly.
What I would do for 77, 78, I might be if we had 10,000 cancellations, you might be seeing me driving in the passenger side with you right now. I really like to be over there, but let's do this, Patrick. There was some breaking news today. We had our agenda all written out, but I wanted to start with this and give some people some time to come in because I'm sure we're going to have some Bronco fans joining. But news broke today that 6-time Super Bowl winning head coach Bill Belichick was not elected first-time Hall of Fame ballot, left off the vote. He did not get 40 of the 50 necessary votes, Patrick. And I got some thoughts on it, but I'd like to hear your thoughts on it. Do you think that they messed this up, or are you okay with him not being
I definitely think they messed it up. I mean, whether you think he was a system or because only of Brady, I mean, without Brady, I think he still would have done well. I think fortunately for them, the two of them melded together was the perfect blend of game manager, system quarterback, and offensive genius, or however you want to put that with it. I mean, yeah, they messed that up completely. Yeah. He should be there.
I agree, and I've been reading, I said on another podcast that I'm on, maybe it was the Deflategate, the Spygate. Remember those two situations? Maybe some people are penalizing him for 1 year. Maybe I don't agree with it because Deflategate and Spygate was only 1 year. You want to say he cheated that 1 year? He still got 5 Super Bowls. Okay, so still got 5. And
But even then, how much is the head coach involved in the inflation or deflation of a football? I mean, how much is the head coach involved in that? I mean, he's got 5,000 other things to be involved in and worry about. He's not.
Yeah, it's a shame because he is, in some people's minds, and mine. I had never seen Vince Lombardi, but best coach I've seen, best head coach, best head football coach I've seen, and he started his career as defensive coordinator for the New York Giants, and then started moving on. He went to the Browns, he went to the Jets for one day, and then the Patriots, and you know what? A long Super Bowl career. When you look at other coaches, Mike Tomlin, he'll probably be a first-year Hall of Fame ballot. So if you're not going to let Belichick get first year, you can't let any other coach, in my opinion, be a first-year, first ballot Hall of Famer.
I don't see it at all. I really don't understand that, because I mean, I know he wasn't the media darling, you know, talking and giving everybody the wonderful, but he was great for a short quote. You know, I always thought he did well with the media. I mean, look, Lombardi wouldn't have done good with the media. They were still allowed to smoke and drink on the sidelines then, weren't they?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I know. So I know it's mind-boggling. Unfortunately, in sports, you see it in baseball. I do believe there's some people that are holding grudges on some players. Pete Rose, rest in peace. The player should be in the Hall of Fame. Yeah, he gambled, but when he was a manager, not a player. You know, there's some things that need to be fixed, in my opinion, and it goes with the people that vote.
Yeah, they've forgiven so many things in baseball. They can't forgive gambling. I mean, they've forgiven steroids. They've forgiven 50 other things. They can't forgive that.
Right. I agree. Paul's saying Belichick cheats. That's why. That's what he's throwing out there. And he's also congratulating me on landing a good head coach in John Harbaugh to New York. So I am excited, Patrick, about that.
Yeah, that should be interesting. I was happy to see him go that way. I mean, I like the Giants until they're facing the Broncos, and then I don't care for them. But I mean, so I like the Giants. I'm good with them. So yeah,
me too. He's out of the AFC, right? You don't have to worry about him over there. Yeah. Let's do this, Patrick. I usually do this at the beginning of the show. I usually do this when people come in. So we got Paul in there, and you're in there as my special co-host today. So I want to juice it up for each of you guys. I got a drink called Golden Goodness. It's a fruit smoothie that's a little mixture of apple, passion fruit, and peach. So I want to say juice it up to you, Patrick, Paul, and I see you got a little Gatorade over there. So let's juice it up for everybody. And thank you again for coming on.
Cheers.
All right, my friend. So you are, for those who don't know, you are a Broncos fan. And it was the first game. It was the first game on Sunday. And, I really thought, things were looking good. We saw Jarrett Stidham come out. Broncos get out to a 7-0 lead, 7-0, and driving for a second score to go up 2 scores. And we'll get into this in a second because I got some questions for you. But they get stopped. Final score was Patriots 10. Look at going through the whole thing here. Patriots 10, Broncos 7. Blizzard conditions in the second half. Listen to these mind-boggling stats. I don't want to drive you crazy. I know you're driving, so please don't get too crazy when I give you these stats. And I cannot believe that the Patriots are in the Super Bowl. Drake May, 10 for 21, 86 yards. 10 for 65 on the ground with a touchdown. Ramondre Stevenson, 25 rushes for 71 yards. That's a 2.8 per carry. Malik Hollins led the receivers with 51 yards and 2 carries. Jarrett Stidham had a touchdown, 17 for 31. He also had an interception, and of course that costly fumble that is, costly question mark, was a fumble, backwards pass, or tipped was the question. RJ Harvey struggled, 17 for 37. Marvin Mims, 4 for 62. A couple other guys who didn't put up big numbers. Cortland Sutton, 3 for 17. Evan Ingram, 2 for 19. That's a recap on some stats. Let's a couple more comments, and then we will get some thoughts on this game from you, and I got some questions for you too. Root beer from Paul. Broncos destroyed a few teams' confidence this year. Giants, Packers, Cowboys, Bills, and Raiders. And let's say hello to our good friend Roy Osborne, Patrick. Hey there, Kenny and Patrick.
Roy!
I'm pissed off, to be honest. Don't even start with Stidham. Oh, my God. Well,
I don't think it was Stidham's fault. I don't think it was Stidham's fault.
Right.
He ran the plays they gave him, and that's all you can do. Anyway.
Stidham showed some rust. Got out to the 7-0 lead. The officiating, you can point the finger at that, but he did make some throws that I was like, don't do it, and and he did it. But the way the defense was playing, I want to ask you, is there anything you would have done differently? Because there is one big one for me, and that was Sean Payton. And I want to know if you agree with it. Sean Payton, if somebody told him blizzard conditions are coming in the second half, I would hope somebody told him the weather forecast.
Yeah, you would. Yeah,
you would think.
You would definitely hope.
Why are you not trying to go up 2 scores with the field goal if you don't have confidence in your run game, which Keith mentioned on Denver Bronco Roundup on Sunday when we did the post-game show?
Right.
Patrick, he didn't like the play call, which was the play action, rollout, and they sniffed that out. So if you don't have confidence in your run game, kick the field goal, go up 2 scores, and the way your defense is playing, you're probably going to the Super Bowl because of those conditions in the second half.
Definitely. But I mean, not that I'm happy they lost now and not got to the Super Bowl and lost, because that just crushes absolutely even more so. But I mean, yeah, I would have definitely I like the aggressiveness from Sean, but I would have definitely, you get points when you can get points. Any points, that's what you do.
Like you just said, I like the aggressiveness. Again, if nobody told him about blizzard conditions coming, I have no problem for him going and even calling that play. But if somebody said, we got bad weather coming in the second half, we should take the 3 points here. And if he got stubborn and wanted to go for it, that could have maybe cost him, second guess, and maybe he'll second guess it. Maybe the truth, maybe something will get leaked in the upcoming days or weeks that somebody told Sean or didn't tell Sean about the weather forecast, and we'll find out later on.
Yeah. I mean, it's in the past. I'm not going to get any happier about what happened, even if I find out that, he was aggressive to be aggressive, which is good. But yeah, that field goal, just as soon as I was like, they're going for it, I'm in my garage pacing at that point. I'm like, what the heck are you doing to me?
Yeah. And Roy and Paul not happy with Stidham. Paul saying Stiddy panicked, and Roy saying throwing off his chest. My God, Rust was horrible. I disagree that he did good job. He went out there and it was junior high football from him. I did see some bad from him. I did.
Yeah, and, there was.
But I'm going to give him, Roy, I'm not giving him the benefit of the doubt, but he didn't throw a ball in 2 years. He gave the Broncos a 7-zip lead, and then second half the conditions were terrible. I mean, with Drake May's stats, 10 for 21, 83 yards. He honestly looked like a JV quarterback as well. He just came up with the one big play on the ground that got the touchdown, 10 rushes for 65 yards on the ground, but the defense held him intact the whole game as well. One thing I wouldn't have done differently that a lot of people were questioning, 46-yard field goal in those blizzard conditions with the wind at your back. If it's not tipped, Will Lutz hits that field goal. I'm okay with that one, to be honest with you. It just happened to be bad luck. The guy got a hand in there and got the field goal. It wasn't a matter of, not going not long enough. It wasn't a matter of him hooking it. It was a matter of somebody getting their hands up, and you can't stop.
Made a good play.
my opinion, I think that was I'm okay kicking the field goal there, where a lot of people weren't. I would have definitely went for the tie there. Anything else you would have done differently in this game? I think the run game, you couldn't do anything on the run. I'll give you one that I may have done differently. R.J. Harvey did not look comfortable once it started to snow. I may have maybe tried Jahlil McLaughlin or Tyler Bidet in the snow. He looked very skittish and slow for his standards, in my opinion, in the fourth quarter when the Broncos were trying to get at least the tying field goal.
Definitely, yeah. He did not look – that's what more looked high schoolish to me in the second half was just – he didn't look comfortable with his footing at all. Like he was nervous that foot was going to slip or he couldn't make that cut, and he needs to make that cut. If he can't make that cut, he's not the hit the pocket, hit the hole and go, like Dobbins was during the season till he got hurt. So yeah, that's the main thing I would have. Any other running back, what's the fullback? They could have used him instead.
Yep.
At least he's more, hit the hole or try to hit the, hit the hole and make contact and go kind of guy. I don't know why they couldn't have gone that direction or why they didn't go that direction, but
exactly.
That's about the only thing differently I would have done was more. The run game was not good for most of the season, and Dobbins had flashes when they were calling runs. He'd had flashes, but then they'd go away from it in the second half. They'd run, and then second half was all pass. 3 and outs, and it just made it until the fourth quarter when Bo would turn it on, whatever switch he found, and go.
Exactly. And Roy brings up a point that I was just going to mention. I couldn't question it, but Roy's answering my question before I had a chance to ask it. R.J. Harvey and Will never played in the snow. I know R.J. Harvey went to Central Florida, at University of Central Florida.
Right.
There you go. I would have. You're always going to second guess, and the coaches know more than us. So I'm not going to do much pointing fingers, second guessing. But I think I would have maybe wished I had a power back that could get 3 or 4 yards in the snow and just run, third and short. You move the chains with a short pass. That should have been the recipe. But R.J. Harvey, footing, like you said, loss of 2 yards. Now you're in trouble because you're at 2nd and 12, 2nd and 13, which we saw a couple times in that game. That's something I would have maybe done differently. Maybe Tyler Bidet, Jahlil McLaughlin a little more. Once the snow hit, I don't think you were going to get the home run from R.J. Harvey that he's capable of.
Right. I know Stidham doesn't run that much, but why couldn't they have called a couple more, quarterback runs because they're not going to be looking for it if he's not running that much. And
no.
He did, his footing looked okay. He looked solid in his footing.
Yeah.
But just second guessing. I think you're right.
Paul's bringing up a good one. We could have used Javonte Williams or Estime. And Jody, if he's out there listening, he's probably going nuts right now because Estime is his guy.
Right. But, I liked him. I thought he was going to do well, but I don't know why.
I know. Let's say hello to Graham. Graham's saying, hey, it's Knny and my birthday twin. Did you just celebrate a birthday?
Oh, that's right.
Monday?
Yes, yeah.
Happy
Monday,
belated.
Yeah.
Happy belated. I was not on Facebook,
you,
so I did not see that it was your birthday. I just saw Graham's post that he went out to dinner. So happy birthday to both of you guys.
Well, happy birthday, Graham. I didn't know that. I saw that last night. I saw somebody's post on Graham saying birthday. I was like, wait a minute, was that Graham's birthday? And then I'm like,
Yep.
Roy's
got a question.
Out, so.
We touched on this right before we went on the air. He said he wants to know, Patrick, what you think of the firing. So it was Jim Leonard, wide receivers coach, a couple other coaches got fired. Me, short and sweet, I'm shocked of all the firings. Joe Lombardi was a big one. So all these firings on a team that got to the AFC Championship. That's what's scratching my head. It's not just the head coach that gets you to
the offense. The offense did look fairly anemic. Everybody was talking about that the whole year. I mean, they were scoring enough to win, but they weren't. They didn't have that dominant. They only had 2 games where they actually held on to the ball, and I mean, time of possession was like 40 minutes to 2-to-1 ratio kind of thing. But I'm surprised it happened now, but I'm not surprised it happened.
Yeah, Kiri Colbert and the cornerbacks coach, who I don't remember the name of, a couple names Graham's saying got fired. And Roy, not a fan of Estime. Are you kidding me? Estime was crap, to put it to you nicely. Slow, but could get you 3 yards. You didn't have no power backs, so maybe
Right.
I think they maybe look for that in the upcoming draft, maybe a power back. And later on, I got some Senior Bowl players to watch out for the Broncos. Last one on the AFC recap, Patrick. Players or well, we saw a lot of coaches fired, so let's just do it this way. Instead of asking about coaches who disappointed, any players who disappointed you in this on Sunday?
I am a little surprised Sutton didn't step it up a little more. I thought, calling him even a lower tier number 1, but calling him number 1 for the last couple years, I'm surprised he didn't show. And what happened to our tight ends? There was absolutely no. I mean, did he even catch? I don't remember hearing his name called at all.
I think he had 2 receptions for 19 yards. Evan Ingram, who was supposed to be the Joker. Sutton, I'm going to give a pass. And the reason why I'm going to give a pass, Patrick and everybody in the chat, simple. Not because Jarrett Stidham's quarterbacking, but because Pat Bryant and Troy Franklin got hurt. Your number 2 and number 3 wide receivers were Little Jordan Humphrey and Elijah Moore, who was sitting on the couch 3 weeks ago. So Cortland Sutton was getting the single coverage by Gonzalez and even double covered most of the game. I know he had a couple drops, but let's be fair. Sutton was good most of the year. Like you said, a low end 1, maybe a high end number 2. Go get a playmaker next year if you're the Broncos to pair up with Sutton. And then further down the line, depth pieces could be Franklin and Pat Bryant, who's unfortunately having injury after injury towards the back end of the season.
Yeah, I'm a little nervous about Bryant. I like him. I like the the flashes he was showing when he was out there, but I mean that's you got to watch that head. That's a hard one. Once those concussions start, you're either perfect and you're great after that, or you're just at the minute somebody looks at you wrong, you're getting another one. So.
Yep.
I don't know. It's not like back in the day when Sharp and them were talking. That Sharp and them were, they'd get a concussion in the first quarter, and then they're back out there in the second half. It's like,
right.
It's a different time.
Anything else you want to mention on this game and say to your fellow Bronco fans who are out there?
I think we should all take a little bit of heart. That defense was absolutely phenomenal. In spite of. I'm not the biggest Vance Joseph fan. I was very surprised when they brought him back to be the defensive side. And so, I think in spite of Vance Joseph, that defense is strong. Those guys are looking for it. They're hungry. And so, to know that we really only have to worry about one side of the ball next year, maintain the defense. You don't have to build up the defense. You just have to maintain it.
Definitely. Roy likes Pat Bryant, and Graham is saying too many injuries for Bryant. Nice guy at camp. Graham was at training camp. Would be sad if he's ever gone from Denver, but hope he can shake the injury bug. Let's hope he wears that cap. I love the players that wear that the cap on the bubble cap. I wish
Oh,
some
right.
quarterbacks would wear it. Tua, Tagliavola, maybe even Jackson
Definitely.
Dart. Start wearing that cap if you're getting too many hits to the head. Let's do this, Patrick. Let's move on to the NFC recap. I know we're not going to talk too much on this one. There's not too many Rams or Seahawk fans in our chat, but maybe some that go back and listen to the show later on. I have a recap of that game. Seahawks advanced to the Super Bowl by a score of 31-27. On the losing side, just on total different game. This was a lot of offense. Matthew Stafford, 22 for 35, 374 yards, 3 touchdowns. Blake Corum led the way for the running backs on 9 carries for 55. Puka Nacua, 9 for 165 and a touchdown. The guy is just a ball hog. And on the winning side, Sam Darnold, 25 for 36, 346, 3 touchdowns. Kenneth Walker, 19 for 62 with a touchdown. And Jackson Smith and Jigba, arguably maybe one of the top 3 wide receivers in the league, 10 for 153 and a touchdown on the winning side there. I just got a simple question for you. Thoughts on this game? Right. Anything you want to mention that I didn't hit before
I was surprised the Rams were able to score as much as they did. I mean, that Seattle defense, the couple of playoff games there just looked like you weren't going to be able to do anything. So I was pleased to watch that and see them kind of banter back and forth, a little bit for a while. But yeah, that's about the only thing.
Yeah. And for me, it's just Sam Darnold. Last year with Minnesota, what was it, 15-2, and then they lost in the playoffs. He had a bad playoff game. This year, 14-3 in the regular season. That's 29-5 in 2 years. There's not much better than that. And he's got to be underrated, in my opinion, when you talk about underrated quarterbacks in this league. You're talking about, when you talk quarterbacks, you're talking the Patrick Mahomes, the Joe Burrows, and more recently now, the Bo Nixes and Jaden Daniels. You're not hearing Sam Darnold's name mentioned. And now he's going to have a chance, biggest stage, to win one more game and get the Super Bowl. And, the Jets drafted him.
I like Darnold.
Darnold.
I like Darnold.
Yeah. 29-5.
When he was leaving the Jets, I really wanted Denver to go after him. I would have thought he would have fit in really well. Although I think, unfortunately, our coaching at the time would have ruined him further. But I really wanted Denver to go after him.
Yeah, and Seattle defense was spot on. Roy's agreeing. For me, I got one question for you: like Matthew Stafford or Drake May for MVP? Why isn't Sam Darnold's name mentioned? Could he be a sneaky long
no
shot?
Doubt, right? That would be all right.
If I had to pick one of these two, I'm going to go Stafford because of the Drake May. I saw Broncos 8 for 81 yards, and that's a playoff game. But they did that a lot of the year. They didn't count on him. They made him make a few plays. The Rams counted on Matthew Stafford more, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think Stafford. I think it would, between those two. I would personally pick Stafford also. I do think May showed up when he needed to show up, but yeah, there was a lot of times. Yeah, no, Stafford was. When they were looking for something, they were looking to Stafford. They weren't looking for May. They were, May did that. Nice. Thanks, Drake. Yeah. So. Yeah,
we're going to
definitely.
have you on next week for our Super Bowl special for a few minutes. So we won't do any Super Bowl predictions tonight. We are at our halfway point. So let me just pause for about 30 seconds to a minute here, Patrick. We're going to mention our sponsor for this evening, and that is Morgan Trinkets. Morgan Trinkets is specialized in Southwest jewelry, Southwest pottery, and estate gold at wholesale prices for over 35 years. You can catch them online on Etsy by typing in Morgan Trinkets, or catch them on eBay at Pearl Heat, Heat, You can also see them live at the Longmont Fairgrounds in Longmont, Colorado, January 31st. I'm sorry, Loveland Fairgrounds, January 31st, for the ultimate garage sale. Check out our amazing sponsor, Morgan Trinkets. Ms. Pearl, thank you for sponsoring all our shows on Rocky Mountain Sports Network. Truly appreciate you and hope everything's going well for you out there. Speaking of sponsors, I got a blind ranking for you, Patrick. But before the blind ranking, unofficial sponsor, but I'd like you to mention some Lion Coffee. You take care of us at Rocky Mountain Sports Network, my other podcast with K&K Sports Show. We thank you so much for your generosity and kindness. I share with my coworkers at work at the hospital, and everybody absolutely loves the coffee. So you just mention a couple minutes about Lion Coffee. Tell us what you got going over on down there in your neck of the woods.
Sure. Well, we just had our larger bag sale, which, is, I will send you a bag, small, large, anywhere in the world. There's nowhere I've sent to every single country in the world, at least once. That's
impressive.
So I will send it anywhere. We normally, it's, if I can get to it, if it comes from Lion Coffee, I've sent it. Odds are I do have help, but odds are I've touched it in some way. And I don't know. Even if I didn't work there, I would drink it, especially being out here in Hawaii. It's one of the larger producers and things out there. So it's a good coffee. They have good flavor. The vanilla mac, the chocolate mac, which I think is your favorite, right? Is the chocolate mac.
Chocolate mac, the vanilla mac. There's a lot of good ones that you got.
The one that surprises me.
Favorite of my coworkers.
Oh, good.
Yeah,
I like that. That's probably of my flavored ones. That's the one the coconut is nice because it's not coconut and then coffee. You're tasting coffee and then you catch that coconut kind of on the back end of it. So who else has coconut coffee?
Yeah,
I've never seen it anywhere else. And
no,
I've lived in Denver.
There's a nice twist.
Yeah, but it's not overpowering. It's a good addition. So whatever research was done before I was there, because they've been doing MacNut for quite some time. I mean, I've been there 13 years, so I mean they've been doing it at least that long. So
yeah, no, that's awesome. And thank you again. You really take care of
always. All you have to do is ask. We'll work what we can work out. So if anybody, lioncoffee.com, yes, they can go there. Our 100% Kona is probably that's where I have to. That's I would lay with. I would chase after. That's my favorite. So
yep. I want to say hello to our good friend, everybody's friend, Michael Ronquillo. He's saying good evening.
Oh,
he said Keith and Patrick, but it's Knny and Patrick. I know what he meant on the juice. And I forgot my phone. Michael, he sent stars. Thank you, Michael, for supporting the show. Truly everybody's friend, Michael Ronquillo. I'm going to juice it up for you, my friend. Golden Goodness smoothie for you. And Patrick's out there in Hawaii. We're going to juice it up for you, my friend.
Woo-hoo.
Roy likes the vanilla mac and chocolate mac. I'm going to get to Roy's trivia question in a second because I got a blind ranking, and I'm going to put Patrick on the spot, the coffee man.
Oh, okay.
I got blind ranking of the top 5 flavored coffees around the world. Okay. I'm going to give you the first one. We're going to start with hazelnut.
I'm gonna have to go with like 4.
4 on hazel. Okay.
Yeah, that's not.
How about caramel?
Not a fave for me. That's probably gonna have to go. That's probably of flavored ones. That's probably I'd say number 2. That's right there. I'm not a big flavored one, so caramel's good.
Yeah, remember these are people that are voting. Around around the country. So this is what you think.
Oh, right.
So if you want to change, I'll let you change. No,
I'm okay. Okay. I'm okay. I'm all right with that.
We're going to go, mocha.
Mocha. Probably not. Probably number 3. I'd say 3.
So we got 2 left. You got 1 and 5 left. I'm
Okay.
gonna go French vanilla.
That's probably going to be, I would think, number 1.
And pumpkin spice is the last one.
Yeah. I think I did good on that. That's not, no. Yeah.
Yeah, you nailed 1 and 5.
Go
That's the most important ones. You nailed 1 and 5.
Excellent.
Hazelnut was number 2. You had caramel. But caramel was number 3, so you weren't too far off that. You had mocha at 3, and mocha was number 4. Those are some flavored coffees around the whole world. So not just the United States, around the whole world. That was our blind ranking today with Patrick. And I'm going to give you a solid B, Patrick, because you nailed 1 and 5, and in the middle, you were right
Excellent.
there.
Okay.
So you got a solid B. You definitely passed the test. Good job. Roy loves the vanilla mac, he's saying, and the chocolate mac. And Lion Coffee is the bomb. Yes, it is. Trivia question from Roy. There was a poll that came out last week on another show. Here it goes. The new stadium, should it be retractable? Should it stay open? Or like a shell all over the crowd? What percentage voted for what? That's tough.
That is tough.
Retractable, I would say, I'm going to have to do it a different way. I'll say retractable got the most votes. Stay open, because it's in Denver, probably got the least amount of votes. And I'll say a shell over the crowd in the middle. Percentage-wise, I'd say retractable, probably 60. I would say 30 for a shell and 10 for open. That's my guess. Right. Hold on. We'll let Patrick answer first, and then you could type in the and anybody else wants to play along, please put it in the chat, and I'll throw it up there for Roy.
Yeah, I think retractables probably. I'd put it closer to 70% myself, and then like 25 with the shell and 5 open.
Yeah, I mean, if you ask anybody, after Sunday with those blizzard conditions, I think it's -5 to keep it open, right? But we'll wait to hear Roy's comments, and he'll give us the answer.
All right,
and I'll read it when he puts it up there. We got about 20 minutes left, Patrick, give or take. Got a couple more topics for everybody. But first, I want to say hello. We got a good friend from down under, Glenn Ashley, saying, good afternoon, Kenny and birthday boy Patrick. Good day, mate. You have to have the retractable roof to generate income away from the game. Also imagine Sunday's games with a roof. Here comes Roy with the answer. 66.8 say retractable because they want more events than football. That was pretty spot on, Patrick. You were close right there. We both, I was 60 and you were 70.
Yeah, pretty close.
70, so.
You would have won though, because Price is Right rules, right? Closest without going over. See.
Price. Yeah, love it. And Michael is saying he read that they will add to the Impero Field at Mile High. And there was 1,088 people who voted.
Okay. So
if you got our 2 votes, we'll add 1,090. I would go retractable.
Yeah.
I think that a lot of people here too.
For any hope of a Super Bowl ever being played there, I think you'd have to have retractable, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And because they did it with the MetLife. Remember that? And for a lot of people here know my friend. Of course, Patrick knows my good friend, my best friend, Kurt Valenti, big Bronco fan, biggest on the East Coast you'll ever find.
Definitely.
Where Kurt and I grew up before I moved to Maryland, 15 minutes away from MetLife. Ooh. Had every opportunity to go to the Super Bowl with a couple friends, and they chose not to. I wish I had that opportunity. If the Giants were at MetLife, I would have went to the Super Bowl. My good friend Paul Rosen, who's a fellow Giant fan on my other podcast, he diehard. He went to Super Bowl where they beat the undefeated Patriots. He was at that game. He said it's the best experience of his life.
while that game was going on, side little fact there, I was on the plane coming to Hawaii. I had just moved here that day.
Wow.
So while that game was going on, that was
That was a wild,
that was a fun plane ride, because at least
yeah,
you could watch the game on the plane. They had it for everybody, so that part was good. But
wow. Patrick, I'm going to give you a quick. I got a couple quick ones for us to end the second half of the show here.
Sure.
We have coaching carousel. So those who have been following the Giants, John Harbaugh, probably, my opinion, the biggest name, the biggest hire of the offseason. Not too far behind, Mike McCarthy, now the Steelers head coach, got hired by the Steelers. Kevin Stefanski found another job in Atlanta after getting fired by Cleveland. And then we got Jeff Hatley going from Green Bay, defensive coordinator, to the head coach at Miami. Jesse Minter, the young defensive coordinator for Jim Harbaugh, leaves LA and goes to Baltimore. And I'm forgetting one off the top of my head. There was 6 hirings. Oh, Buffalo today.
Buffalo.
Joe Brady. And they're still forgetting one more. I got the Raiders are open, the Cardinals are open, and the Browns are still open. I'm forgetting one, and I'll think of it later on. But I'm going to give you a name, and you tell me if you think one of these 3 teams could hire this guy. The first one is the offensive coordinator for the Seattle Seahawks, Clint Kubiak. Raiders, Cardinals, Browns are available. Could we see Clint Kubiak go to one of these teams?
Honestly, I would love to see him go to the Raiders. I mean, I hate the Raiders. Yes, they're my rivals, but I think that would be a good, smart choice for them, and they just don't seem, for a lot of years, to have made the good, smart choice. So, I mean, it would be nice to kind of see them do that. The Browns, I don't think, are going to make a good choice for anything ever until there's different people in charge, different owners.
Mm-hmm. And I'm with you with Kubiak. I think that's the spot. And Robert Salah, Titans, that's the one I was forgetting, Patrick.
Okay.
Brought over Brian Dable as the offensive coordinator. So the 2 fired New York head coaches are going to be coaching together over in Tennessee. Little fun fact there. I see you just got home, so we got a couple more minutes if you can hang out.
Yeah, of course.
Kubiak going to the Raiders from Roy, leading candidate as of now with reports. I think that's the only spot for him. I think the Raiders are gonna grab him. Roy's saying Arizona's open, so I'm going to give you a name for Arizona. I know they said Vance Joseph's out. How about Chris Shula over the Rams defensive coordinator? Could that be a name to watch out for over there?
That wouldn't surprise me. I could see that. I just don't know. I think they'd have to. For me, Arizona, they're going to have to go somebody a little younger that would go with the quarterbacks that they have out that way. They have those young running quarterbacks, and I don't think I don't know if a defensive coordinator. I mean, he might be able to game plan for that, and that might be useful, but I just don't think anybody's gonna. I don't know if they're going for that other than Saleh. I just don't see a defensive mind being that.
Yeah, it's a good point.
Strong.
I'll give you one other name that could go there, and that's Mike LaFleur, Matt LaFleur's brother. He's the offensive coordinator at the Rams.
Right.
That could be a name to watch out for. I don't think it's going to be a high-profile coach. It's not the top job out there because of their quarterback situation. They might move on from Kyler Murray, Jacoby Brissett, and they're in, I call it purgatory, where they're picking in the draft. They're picking at 4, and there's really no quarterbacks in this draft. So this is where you want to be when there's a quarterback-heavy draft, and there's really none there at 4. So
I don't even think the Raiders are going to pick a quarterback. I don't think there might be one left at 4 because I really don't think I don't think Mendoza's the answer for them. I think they need
Yeah.
somebody that's a little more mobile, and he doesn't seem to be all that mobile.
I brought this up, Patrick, and Michael's saying about LaFleur is the favorite to win the Cardinals head coach job. And then I got a comment from Glenn I'll read into him in a minute. I'll make a bold prediction that don't be surprised if, I know the Raiders are saying Mendoza, but if a team like the Jets, who are picking right behind them and have all these draft picks, give the Raiders a call and say, hey, we want Mendoza. We move back, and next year's quarterback draft class is a lot better. You got all these picks now from the Jets, who are probably going to be in the bottom of the league next year. And if maybe not the first pick, if they want Mendoza, you may have to think about it. Because I don't know. I just think Mendoza, he's good, but I don't know if he's going to be pro good.
Right. No, I mean, that's the same kind of, I could agree with that. I definitely could see that.
Yeah.
But there was that, I saw it, some rumor, it was out here, a lot of people talking about it, because we have a couple of Raiders fans at work, and they were talking about it, that they were going after from Baltimore, the quarterback, Jackson.
Oh, okay.
Lamar. That they were going to go after Lamar.
There was maybe a trade rumor there. Yep.
Right. That, that they were going to go after him, and like you said, go back in the draft and get picks and whatnot, to maybe an offensive lineman or two to guard him, or, whatever out there if they got Lamar. And I'm like, they'd need those picks. Those picks would definitely have to come from somewhere.
Yeah.
If they could come from the Jets. So
Tom Brady does have a little ownership in those Raiders, so I know he's going to be
keeping an eye
out for the quarterback. So that there's something to watch for. If they do draft
who else would know?
If he do draft Mendoza, maybe he thinks that Mendoza could be something special. But I need to see it before I believe it.
I don't think nobody thought Brady was going to be all that special, right? Wasn't he sixth round?
Yes. And when I saw Mendoza, I'm a Miami Hurricane fan. I watched the national championship.
Okay.
Once they went second half and they played more pressure, more press coverage, Mendoza struggled with when the coverage was loose. He was complete in passes. His receivers made some good plays in that national championship that bailed him out, in my opinion. Yeah. He made some really poor throws. For a guy who's supposed to be the number one prospect coming out and the number one pick, I saw some really poor throws in that game, in my opinion.
I only got to see a little bit, so I only saw highlights, and there definitely were not a lot of highlights for him in the second half. I do remember most of those highlights being early on.
Early on, with his receivers bailed him out. Becker was, really good down the stretch and bailed him out on some poor throws. I'm going to hit a couple of comments. We got Glenn saying about the Broncos. He hopes Vance Joseph goes somewhere, Patrick. I hope we cut Ingram. He wants to get a smart wide receiver coach coupled up with Jalen Waddle and one of Lance or Daniels in the draft. Give me Jam Miller from Alabama for the wideout room and re-sign Dobbins. I'm going to give you a couple guys I'm looking out for the Senior Bowl in a second there, Glenn. But that's Saturday if you want to keep an eye out on some of the guys that you mentioned. And then let me get a couple more. Royce saying there's also reports VJ is going to be bypassed, even though he was targeted for Arizona. They said they wanted an offensive-minded guy. Makes sense. Jonathan Gannon was a defensive coach. Usually teams like to go a different route.
Opposite, right?
Opposite, yeah. And he's saying Mendoza's solid, but not great. Michael, alluding to Sean Payton, said today that he wasn't happy with the Broncos' offense. I would hope not. I definitely would hope not, Michael. And there was a lot of things to question there. And Jam Miller's a running back. Is what I'm saying. And speaking of Broncos, Keith Brugman, our good friend and Denver Bronco roundup. Good evening, gentlemen. Have a fantastic show. Keith and Jody will be on tomorrow, Michael, and everybody covering everything about the Broncos. And it should be a really, really good, passionate show as always. But, definitely tune into that and give them a listen. So got one more coaching job, and that's the Browns. And this one's all over the board. I've been hearing Jim Schwartz, the current defensive coordinator, Todd Monken, who I'm hoping comes over with John Harbaugh, because John Harbaugh is familiar with him, had Lamar Jackson, Jackson Dart. I'm hoping they don't go with Todd Monken, who had a couple interviews there. And then they got a young guy, and last name is Nate Shieldhouse. He's 32 years old, pass game coordinator for the Rams. You want to talk really young option that they might go with? That's an option too. For me, I would go with the defensive coordinator, Jim Schwartz. You got Myles Garrett there, and your defense was not the problem. You go and get a new coach now. Now you're bringing in a new defensive coordinator. You make your franchise, Myles Garrett, unhappy. I don't know. I think I'm keeping an incumbent in there. I'm going to go with Schwartz.
I could agree with that. I could definitely see Schwartz doing that. But I mean, not to be mean, but when has Cleveland made the good choice? I mean, they gave a guaranteed contract to a quarterback that, well, I guess he was in the massage room. You can't keep it in your pants there. It's not in your pants. But I mean, they gave the first guaranteed, completely guaranteed. And then did he even play 2 games, 3 games?
Yeah.
And just everything since then. I don't think they've made a good choice in a long time. I don't know who's running if it's, the monkeys on the typewriters trying to do Shakespeare. I don't know who's in charge over that way, but it's not been good.
No, not been good. And Michael, once again, sending us some Facebook stars. Michael, thank you so much. Woo-hoo! I don't have my phone with me, so I appreciate you telling me that you sent stars. I usually, for those who don't know, I keep an eye. If you're on the Denver Bronco Roundup page, I got to keep it on my phone. It doesn't show the stars in our chat. So thank you, Michael. I'll give you another juice it up. Golden goodness. Everybody's friend, Michael Ronquillo. Thank you so much.
The Ronk.
All right, so there was our coaching openings, Patrick. We're doing great on time. We'll wrap it up. I got some players, the Senior Bowl. Glenn's over there. He's talking about a lot of college players. Off season's unfortunately here now. I'm a Giants fan. The off season's been with me for 6 months. It's been the off season for the Giants. But unfortunately for the Broncos, it ended on Sunday. And I wrote down a couple positions and a couple of players that some people may be familiar with that I think, leading into the draft, the Broncos may be interested in. We saw a lack of a run game. I'm going to start with a couple running backs. And I think running back could be in play for the Broncos somewhere in this draft. You don't have J.K. Dobbins signed. Jaleel McLaughlin barely made the team. He was on the practice squad most of the year.
Right.
And you got R.J. Harvey, who, let's be honest, he showed his struggles. I got a couple running backs for everybody to keep an eye out for. 3 of them, to be exact. The first one is from that championship team, Indiana, Kalon Black. Reminds me of Isaiah Pacheco, that style of running back.
Right.
He had 156 carries for 1,040 yards, 10 touchdowns. But here's my thing, too. He can also catch the ball out of the backfield, 48 catches for 421 yards. I think that's a name to keep an eye out for. But I do think I like these other 2 guys. The first one is going to be Caton Allen, 5'10", 217 pounds, a powerful running back, 210 carries, 1,303 yards, 15 touchdowns, a 6.2 average per carry. And he lacks the receiving skills, but this is what we were talking about early. Like, Yeah, you wanted the Audric Estime, even though, Audric Estime did not do well in Denver. You wanted that type of running back that can get you those 3 or 4 yards. This guy brings a different style. Maybe if the Broncos can't re-sign J.K. Dobbins, maybe they draft a player like this kid here to be the power and speed. You have R.J. Harvey as the speed, and this guy as the power. Definitely a name to watch at the Senior Bowl, in my opinion. Got with an asterisk, a late day 2 pick, maybe third round.
Okay, all right.
The last one is Mike Washington, underrated strength, 6'2", 223, and I got him as a underrated, high ceiling guy. Definitely a player to watch out for. Is Mike Washington Jr. That's a third one. That could be a day 3 pick. I mean, we've seen day 3 picks, work out well. So this could be a sleeper with the highest upside. Is watch out for Mike Washington. And then I got I got 2 tight ends for you. I got the first one is Justin Joly out of NC State, a receiving tight end, 6'3", 251, Patrick. 49 receptions, 489 yards, 7 touchdowns this past year. ACC, NC State didn't have the greatest of quarterbacks throwing him the ball. Last year, 43 catches, 661 yards, 4 touchdowns, a 3-year starter at NC State. 2023, 56 catches, 578 yards, 2 touchdowns. This could be a sleeper tight end out of this draft that I'm definitely keeping an eye on Saturday to see how he does against top talent. Definitely a name I'm watching for and may be very high on for the Broncos, because I earlier said by Glenn he wants Ingram out. So do I. I want him gone too. And then
I didn't want him at all. So,
and the last name I got is Sam Roush. He's a tight end from Stanford. Similar numbers: 49 receptions, 545 yards, 2 touchdowns. Last year was a backup. 40 receptions, 334 yards, 2 touchdowns. Receiving threat, again, not great quarterback play. Could be a sleeper with some good talent throwing him the ball. Let's keep an eye on those guys for the Broncos.
Yeah.
On Saturday, if you want to watch some football on Saturday, go watch that for sure.
I like your thoughts. That's good. I agree. Tight end. I think you're not going to find a Gronk, which, oh my God, that's everybody's dream, right? I mean, as annoying as he could be talking, you never had a question with him on the field. It was always, I mean, they brought him back in Tampa Bay. Wasn't he technically retired? And they brought him back to Tampa Bay to, and he was storming it still. So
Roy's saying Coleman's better, the running back. The tight end, Pablo, Denver, go get him. I think that's the Alabama tight end, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay,
I'm going to give you a linebacker and some wide receivers that I have for the Giants, but they can also be in play for the Broncos. The linebacker, Jacob Rodriguez out of Texas Tech. Watch for this name, Patrick. If you move on from Alex Singleton, that's the name to watch out for. He was 6th in the voting in the Heisman. Defensive player out of Texas Tech. 7 forced fumbles, 4 interceptions this past year. That's what the Broncos need. They need a cover tight end. Cover linebacker.
2 tight ends, right.
If you need a tight end, if you need a wide receiver, if you need a linebacker, this could be your guy. I'm hoping the Giants get him as a Giants fan in the second round. I'm hoping he stays there for the second round. Little undersized, but I've seen undersized linebackers do very well in the NFL. So, and then a couple wide receivers I'll throw out there. Malachi Fields, 6'4", wide receiver out of Notre Dame. He's got strong hands. Reminds me of Plaxico Burress, for those who know Plaxico Burress, the old wide receiver. Paul, my co-host, big Notre Dame fan on my other podcast, he thinks he reminds him of a DK Metcalf. I will take that all day as a Giant fan. I'll take that all day as a Bronco fan. And then the other guy I wrote down was Elijah Surratt out of that Indiana Hoosiers. If you're a national champion, that's what I'm looking for. Winners. 15 touchdowns. Knows how to get to the end zone. He's sure-handed. Not the fastest receiver, but sure-handed. Kind of like Pat Bryant. But I think you can get him in the second round. I don't know if that's what the Broncos are going to go, that route, being they have a Pat Bryant. But I could see him on the Giants because who could use that type of wide receiver.
Most definitely. I'm still jealous you guys have Scatterbo. I love that dude, man. His attitude and just that he's looking for the hit and then the run, not the run and then the hit. And I absolutely I don't think that spells a very long career sometimes, but it's fun to watch. Absolutely fun to watch.
Yeah. Couple more comments. We'll get our final thoughts in, Patrick. Come on, guys. Jonah Coleman has potential to be the next Gronk. Let's take it. Is he playing in the Senior Bowl? I totally missed that one. Roy, if he's playing in the Senior Bowl, I missed that one, and that's a good call out. I was just doing some Senior Bowl guys, and Glenn's throwing linebackers: Trotter, York, and Goldstein for me. Keep an eye out. Yep. I'll definitely going to go back into these comments, and I'm going to write all these players down that you guys are mentioning. It's definitely a fun time, doing these shows, keeping an eye on some players.
Yeah, let me know. I'll start looking.
Yeah, it gives you a reason to watch the games,
I haven't been watching much college. I've been a little NFL snobby the last few years, so I need to start.
For those who are home during the day, the NFL Network actually shows their practices. Sometimes those are fun to watch too. Yeah, sometimes those are fun to watch. And then we'll give Michaels in there. A&M Aggies wide receiver Casey Concepcion is a wide receiver to watch out for because he has a speed burner. That's what the Broncos can use, is a speed burner. Definitely. Rashid Shaheed, I thought they should have got him at the trade deadline, and he's playing in the Super Bowl now. But
right.
And Roy, thanks, Roy. He was invited. I'll keep an eye out for him because that is a great name. And Glenn, thank you. He's going to send some players to watch. I'll send you some players to watch that suit to Patrick.
Okay. Yeah, no, that would be great because I can have the game on. I'll probably have it on while I'm sending coffee, working because the game will be on as we're working. So I put on a lot of football games on, especially Monday night. I've loved the Thursday night games. I can put that, on when we're going. So it's good to see. And I since I'll be paying attention more to college, I can definitely, put those on. I've been a little partial to hockey lately because that's been on. It's on during the day. So
nice. Well, we're up on the clock, Patrick. I'll pass it to you. Get some final thoughts in, and then we'll sign off and juice it up one more time for everybody.
I don't know about thoughts. It's been absolutely wonderful. I learned college names. I've learned, that you can drive home and be okay. I don't think I was dangerous. Of course we were only doing about 7 miles an hour most of the way. So, I learned I can do that. All right. And still talk. So I think it's been good. Revisit the Bronco game there was a little,
that's tough.
Ouchy, but the offense was pretty tough the whole year. They weren't scoring. I think we only scored over 26, 27, twice?
Not much. Giants was
and that's
one game.
Right. That's right. I'm sorry.
And if it wasn't for that fourth quarter comeback, it would have been way less than 27.
Very true. The Giants won, and then I think wasn't Kansas City anyway. But it wasn't. They only did it a couple times, but you score enough to win. That's all that matters.
Yeah.
That year with Peyton, I don't think. They were putting up some numbers, but that was an 80% Peyton, I would say. Which still was good enough to beat. And what's his name? That 6'7" guy we had. He started 5 games or 6 games that year because Peyton was hurt. So we haven't had a good we haven't had a good tight end since the Peyton years when they had what was the name? Julius Thomas, I think. Didn't he go to?
Yep. Julius Thomas.
I mean, since once he left, I mean, of course, when you've had Shannon Sharp for years and years, it's hard to get anybody that's going to stand in that afterglow. I mean, that was amazing to watch. I got to see him in person a few times, so that was
nice. Well, Patrick, it was a pleasure having you on, and let me tell you, I think I enjoyed the car ride home more than if maybe you were at home, because I got to see some scenic Hawaii on the ride home. I saw some hotels on the way you were driving,
right?
And just to be out of the cold and see nice weather is truly a blessing, because we're struggling here in Maryland with ice that we're not used to, and on the East Coast here. So the cold weather. I know a lot of people up there in the Rocky Mountain area, Rocky Mountain time zone, I should say, they're used to it. I used to be used to it, but I'm not used to this anymore. So it's truly a pleasure having you on and showing us the scenic
I appreciate it.
Ride home. Can't wait till next week. We'll have the big Super Bowl show planned for the Juice. Going to have a lot of guests on, making predictions. We'll see who's right, who's wrong. Of course, I want to thank everybody who was a part of our show tonight. Michael Ronquillo, the star giver. Glenn out there in Australia. Roy hanging out the whole show. A couple other people I want to mention with us. Keith, of course, popped in. Paul was in earlier. And Graham, happy birthday once again, Graham. And once again, stay safe, everybody. If it's cold, stay warm. Check on your neighbors if they're elderly. Check on the pets.
Definitely.
And juice it up, everyone. And we'll see everybody next week for our Super Bowl special. Have a good night.
I'll try to be out at the beach. We'll see if we can't get some scenes for you there.
Oh, that'd be awesome. Juice it up, everyone. Have a good night.
All right.
Thank you so much. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, no doubt. Thanks. I appreciate it. Hopefully I didn't.
Yeah, no, I'm happy. I'm so happy that you're part of us now. You're always part of the audience. I know there's a 5-hour difference, so don't ever feel if I throw the invite, don't ever feel you're obligated. If you can't make it, I totally understand.
I have no problem doing it. And I've talked with work, and they're good with, Awesome. My boss was like, just mention coffee once or twice and you can leave whenever you need to leave. And I'm like, excellent, no problem, so.
Love it.
And when it's, it won't be that bad. Oh, I got the boss calling.
Yeah, no,
She's probably wondering why I'm sitting out here.
You got dinner coming to you. You're only on 6 o'clock. Thank you again. I'll be in chat. We'll
all right, brother. Have a good night.
Good night.